Hello, welcome back to my channel if you're new here. Hi, I'm Allie, and this is going to be my condensed Christmas slash Creepmas vlog for the month of December. It's gonna feel probably a little overwhelming, especially in the middle and towards the end, because I don't really have solid plans for this video concept besides the fact that I really want to participate in the Holiday Hell-A-Thon hosted by Kelsey from Slime and Slashers. Go check her out. I will have her channel linked down below. This is a really fun readathon. It's all month long. Now, I do have to say, unless for some reason this ends up being a two-part vlog, it's probably over by the time you guys see this, unfortunately. But honestly, I'm not really putting too much stress on myself with an end of the year readathon, and that's why I love this one, because it's so relaxed. You can read, you can watch movies, and they all count as prompts, and that's awesome. It's not really team-based. You're just seeing where you fall with your reading, whether it is going to be more in Santa's realm or Krampus realm, or if you kind of fall in the middle, the elf. So yeah, it's the end of the year. It's crunch time. I'm going to be reading a lot of books that I haven't gotten to this year. I have some book club reads. I'm working on my Goodreads Best of Horror 2024 videos. I am working on videos for the new year. I have a lot of reading to do because I also want to complete my reading goal for the year as well. So I'm trying to bypass and not mention the fact that like I have slacked so bad on my 24 and 24 reads. And I've only taken or drew books out of my TBR jar once this year. I don't want to talk about it. Next year's gonna be better. But anyways, it is the beginning of December. I already feel like I'm drowning. I'm trying to get ahead on everything. I have more Christmas decor to put up. So I'm going to take you guys along with me a little bit with that. But I think more than anything, there's going to be a lot of B-roll of Christmas stuff that happens throughout this month in this video. My other goals with this, besides my little check-ins to let you guys know how I'm doing on the readathon aspect, is to have books that I'm just reading for this video. These are going to be my winter reads, my Christmas reads, and anything like that that I plan on getting to. Just to add a little festivity to my life and to make this video a little more interesting, so there is solid book reviews and not just I read this and just stats, you know? So with that being said, first week in, and I am starting Misery, and shockingly, this is my first time reading Misery by Stephen King. I have of course watched the movie, so I think that's why it's not necessarily been taken off of my TBR, and that's why I haven't gotten to it, but I'm been more eager to pick up his other work because they're new territory for me where I feel like I already know a lot of Misery. Misery is a book that I have tried to find because if you know my channel and me, I like to thrift a lot. And I love old paperbacks. So finding old paperbacks while I'm thrifting is my favorite thing. And I've been trying to find a copy of The Shining and Misery for the longest time, and I never can find it. I ended up buying the new edition of The Shining from Target not long ago, but finally found Misery at a thrift store. I think it was at a Goodwill. So I had this copy, and then recently in November for my birthday, we went out of town, and the place we went to has a used bookstore, and I went in and I found this copy of Misery, which is just stunning. Like, I love it so much. It's so cool, and just the vibes with it, with the house and all the snow and the mountains in the background. It's just beautiful. I love this edition so much that I had to have it too. So now I have two, but I have been reading this one. Today was actually, I feel like the first Christmassy day besides putting our tree up at the end of November. Because today, James, for the first time in so long, took off work, and with the boys being in school, it was like the first day we've been able to like hang out together, just us. So it was weird. It was a kidless day, and we went out on a date, and we got some sushi and honey shrimp with lo mein and also some boba tea to take with us to go Christmas shopping. So we got a little bit of Christmas shopping done, which was so much fun. I also found, because I know this is going to be a fiasco with this video, I have been trying to figure out a tree topper for my tree. I don't really want a star, but I want something fun, something cute, and I found this disco ball. And it's kind of hard to see our Christmas tree right now. I'm sure there's going to be B-roll of it, but it's a black Christmas tree, and then we have just black and white ornaments, and then we have disco ball ornaments because I love mirror balls. So I picked this up today because I thought it would be so cute to just maybe like hang right over the tree, but our tree is so much shorter than our ceilings in this house that it's just not gonna work. Like, it'll hang up way too high. Maybe if it was bigger disco ball, it would work better. So unfortunately, we have not found the right Christmas topper yet. I think I'm gonna have to go with a bow and just try to make like a faux leather bow that will match our faux leather tree skirt. But maybe I'll get to that in this video too. Do some different like DIYs. But my office will now have a disco ball. Any other Christmas things that I can think of is Buddy is back in our house. He has been here for a few days now, up to his shenanigans, so you'll see some of him. He is our little elf on the shelf. Besides that, our neighbors just put up all their Christmas lights today, and it's like popping across the street, and then it's just like nothing at our house, so maybe I'll find our lazy lights. I am going to finish Misery, and then I will come back to let you guys know my thoughts. I also wanted to show this because my birthday is like towards the end of November, and my friends have been getting me my birthday gifts, and one of them gave me like a book on like tarot cards and like witchcraft stuff, which is so freaking cool. The tarot card book is like a year of tarot, so it teaches you tarot in like a year. So I'm going to start it in January. I'm super excited about it. But my other friend got me a bookcase so that it has like a zipper and stuff so that you can take your books with you on the go. They just slide right in there. Also, my iPad fits in this, so it's like perfect to take that on the go. It has a little pouch right here for other things. It's just so cute. So many little Stephen King references. I absolutely love it, and so cute. But hopefully I will be back soon to give you guys my thoughts on Misery. I do have the audiobook, I think for like one more day on my library Libby app. So I think I'm gonna use it tonight while I decorate maybe some more, because I need to get some more decorations up. And then once that goes back, I will just physically read the rest of it. So I'll let you guys know.
I believe in you. I believe in you. Yeah, so much that you're early. Little one in school now, we continue my read of Stephen King's Misery. Oh, I love that one. I actually have the new edition of that coming. You know, the one from like the storyteller editions that I have. I have that coming very, very soon. Because I'll be rereading it in a vlog soon. So I need to get a new copy of it.
So I've left you guys for far too long because I have needed to check in with you to let you guys know my thoughts on Misery. I feel like I talked about it quite a bit in my last clip if I'm not mistaken, or maybe I just got like the gist of just being like, oh, they know what Misery's about. But if you don't, this is about a best-selling author named Paul Sheldon. So we kind of have like that aspect of a book within a book. And he is at a point in his life where he is ready to wrap up a series he's working on where his main character's name is Misery. And upon wrapping this up, he goes to his favorite lodge in Colorado where he is writing a new book. He is super excited about this new book. I think in this book it's called Fast Cars. And we do actually get some of the book within a book moments where we get to read some of his stories from Fast Cars and also from Misery's stories, which I really, really enjoyed. I like that concept. I think it's really cool. With that being said, he gets into his car and starts driving off. He's celebrating that he has finished another book and he is excited. He has it like in his bag next to him and he crashes. He is then pulled out by his #1 fan who takes him to her house to take care of him, and finds himself being held prisoner by this woman who not only is his biggest fan and wants to keep him there, but also reads his latest Misery and finds out that he kills off Misery, the character, and she's furious and she's like, no, you're gonna change this. So while keeping him captive, she is having him write Misery Returns and making it perfect to her. It's also Stephen King, so it's dark, it's brutal, and no, I thought the movie was like pretty intense. Like the ankle scene sent me as a child. But dare I say, this is even more gory and gruesome, and there's so much more to the story in this when it comes to just how brutal Annie is. She's a frightening lady. I landed at 5 stars. I loved this so much. It is definitely, I think in the back of my mind I always knew it would be up there because I love the movie. I'm excited to watch it. That I just knew this was going to be a high Stephen King book for me, and it is. It is up there with The Shining, Carrie, Salem's Lot, Rose Madder, a bunch of my favorites. This is right up there. I loved this so much, and if you have never read it, but you've watched it like I said I did, you should definitely read it. It's so good and it's worth the time. With that, I'm gonna leave you because I have more B-roll for you, but I don't know what my next book is. I've gotten a couple in from the library, and it is time to start my next one because I want to at least get 4 Christmas reads in this month, or just like wintry, like Misery is like wintry vibes, which I realized that this is the movie, one of the old movie posters, and that's why it's this edition, which I think is super cool. But yeah, I love it. So I will be back to let you guys know what's next when I know. What do you say?
Yeah, I would not give these cookies to Saints. I love Buddy.
Do you think Buddy ate one of those?
Oh, looks like a Buddy did.
cows and chickens in me, but when I got Misery here, everything changed. She just makes me smile so.
She's a fine baby, what she is.
Good morning, you guys. I'm gonna be a little quiet, or I'm gonna try to anyways, because my little one is still sleeping. It is really early. James and Roman just left for school and work. And I have a little bit of time because I was woken up this morning. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna try to be motivated. I'm gonna try to get my day going. So I actually did a little workout this morning already. But I still feel like I'm like waking up. I'm like trying to take on the day. It's like midweek, so I'm just dragging. But I do have my latte that I am about to finish off, and I'm masking, trying a new one. This is from Anthology. I have tried this brand before. I think I have a lip mask from them that I like, and maybe a sheet mask I've tried from them. But this is their Here We Glow. Oh my gosh, that just makes me think of Totally Spies. Here we go. Let me know if you grew up watching Totally Spies. But yeah, this is supposed to be a mask that gives you glowy skin. You're supposed to cleanse and tone. So I did that. Did my morning, like, the 2 steps of my morning skincare. And then I just threw this on. Apply a thick layer of the mask and then leave on for 20 to 30 minutes, and then you just rinse. And then I guess I'll just do the rest of my skincare. But this mask is very odd. It's purple. It might be kind of hard to tell with this lighting because I'm a vampire who just likes to thrive in the dark. But it is purple and it's like thick. Like, I'm trying not to squeeze too much out, but it's thick. It almost like applies like a clay mask, but I'm interested to see like how it dries down because it still feels very like wet on the skin. Although it feels kind of like applying a clay mask, it almost has like this jelly consistency too, to where I don't think it's gonna like dry down and tighten like a clay mask. So I think I'm gonna really like it. We'll see. And if it makes my skin like super glowy, hell yeah. Anyways, since I've left you guys, I have in fact figured out what I'm going to start reading next. And that is a winter solstice anthology. This is the Christmas and Other Horrors that's edited by Ellen, is it Datlow or Datlow? But there is authors like Stephen Graham Jones, Alma Casu, Cassandra Naw, Josh Mallerman, and Garth Nix, and many more. So I'm excited. I think the only 2 that I've seen, because all of them are back here, Tanana Rivdu is on here, but I have read from her mainly just short stories. I swear 2025, I'm going to actually read more like full-length novels from her. But she has one in here, Christopher Golden, which I've never read from before until now, because his was the first story in here that I've read. But I have seen his books before. I, of course, love Stephen Graham Jones. I have read from Cassandra Naw. I actually really enjoyed, what is it called? It was the one that I feel like nobody else really cared for, and I was like, I liked it. The Salt Grows Heavy. I gave it 4 stars. But they have Nothing But Blackened Teeth, The Dead Take the A Train, The All-Consuming World, a lot that I need to get to. But I've always heard great things about their work, but a lot of people really did not like this. The Salt Grows Heavy. I literally just seen it and now I'm like blanking. But anyways, I actually enjoyed that one, but it was very different. It almost reminded me of like darker writing like T. Kingfisher. Kind of like that vibe for me, but I really liked it. So I'm excited to read another one. John Langan, I'm not sure how you pronounce his last name either, but I have never read anything from him, but I am intrigued in his, I think it's called The Fisherman now, because of Paul Tremblay talking about it and recommending it. I really love Josh Mallerman's work as well. And then I think that's it. These other ones I have never even heard of before. So the idea is to start this, but since it is an anthology and there's a bunch of different short stories throughout, I thought today, between my other book that I'm currently reading, I'm going to try to get through some of these, but then I might set it down and come back and read another whole Christmas novel. The idea is to just fit this into my month. Reading a short story here and there. But today I am going to try to tackle at least a few throughout my day because I'm sucking at these updates. And I also need to make time to do not just my first week check-in for this, but my 2-week check-in because it's already been 2 weeks of December. How has 2 weeks of December already passed? I did read the introduction to this, and I'm excited. She talked about, I'm not really sure who Ellen is, but she talked about the holidays, winter solstice, and all of the creepy things that can come with that, with folk horror and folklore in general. And that's exactly what I dived into with this first story by Christopher Golden. The Importance of a Tidy Home. And what I found this was a really good short story, but what I found most interesting about this, and I'm hoping that it carries on throughout this book, is after the story, there's it'll say end. And then this is an afterword from the author explaining that Salzburg, Austria is one of my favorite places on earth. My wife Connie and I went there on our honeymoon many years ago, and I managed to return shortly before the pandemic hit. It's as beautiful as ever, an intriguing, very self-contained city that nearly vibrates with the echoes of its history. It's also a place with all kinds of folklore, and it's the spot where I bought the Krampus ornament that hangs on our family Christmas tree every year. When I was poking around for something suitably unsettling for this story, it did not surprise me at all to find a bit of a lore specific to the area around Salzburg. He then goes on to say that he loved the gentle household spirit or grotesque murder monster, and that you get one or the other depending on how neat you keep your home. And that's literally what the story is about. It's these little monsters that these guys stumble upon and see that they're attacking. So you have this full-on gory body horror as far as somebody being brutally attacked by monsters, and it also talks about how messy this house is and stuff. And these guys are kind of nomads, so they, after stumbling upon this house, kind of acting somewhat like squatters, trying to get in, they see these monsters or whatever, and then they leave. But the whole concept of this story is these monsters who are going to attack you if your house is messy or if you're super untidy. So I just thought it was such a funny little horror story, but at the same time brutal and gory, and I loved every moment of it. And the fact that we get to know a little bit of that background knowledge of where he got the story and how it's an actual folklore from a country is super cool. I really enjoyed it. Now that I'm sitting here, I'm am I gonna do star ratings throughout this? I guess I could throw up my little ratings that I usually do for when I read short story collections. I think I would land at a 4-star. With the first one. I had a lot of fun with it. The next one is The Ones He Takes by Benjamin Percy. So I will let you guys know how this mask does and what I think of that one when I see you next. a morning. So since I left you guys, I have finished the next story. I've also taken Axel to school. As you can see, it's a lot brighter in here now. But I'm right back here because I am editing a video, planning some stuff, and the book stack today is a little daunting. But yet I'm going to power through. Little side note, it's like holiday spirit week for the boys at school, so they're supposed to like dress up certain things. I want to say Romans today was maybe a certain color or something like that. I feel like, or no, I think today was camo day. I think that's what it is. And yesterday it was like wear red. So his has been kind of easy, but Axel's has been like, one day I think was like one day was Grinch Day, and he didn't really want to do like the whole like face paint or anything this year. Usually I put like a little bit of like green on their nose or something. So he just wore his Grinch shirt and Santa hat. And then yesterday was Be the Light, and you're supposed to like wear light stuff. And a friend had just recently given us a t-shirt that says I think light this up or something like that with like a tree and stuff on it. So that worked out. And today is Santa's helper. So he wore a little reindeer hat. But as I was taking him to school, I pulled up to parent like drop off, and they were giving parents hot cocoa this morning. And I thought that was so sweet. So I have my hot cocoa. I'm back home. I felt like my skin was rather glowing after the mask. It did dry down, but like not like super irritating or like tight or anything like that, like a clay mask. It just dried down and just my face just felt very comfortable still. So I wore it while I was getting him ready for school, and then I washed it off and did my skincare right before I went out the door, and dare I say, it might be a skincare favorite. I'm pretty impressed with it and excited to keep trying it out. Now I am doing my little under eye mask since I don't have anything else on my face besides skincare right now. But the next story in this was The Ones He Takes by Benjamin Percy, and I think I'm landing at, it might be a 3 on this one. But we have another afterword about it, and he talks about the song by Andy Williams, The Most Wonderful Time of the Year. And he says he sings not just about the joys of Christmas, but about the ghost stories, and that's how I always think of the holiday. He says it's Tiny Tim saying, God bless us, each and every one, but it's also the ghost of Christmas future pointing a bony finger towards a gravestone that reads, Ebenezer. It's Sugar Plum Fairies, but it's also the Rat King creeping through the darkened living room. It's George Bailey shouting, Merry Christmas, Bedford Falls. And it's also George Bailey perched on a bridge over a winter river. Talks about how you can't have good without bad, and that exactly where this story goes. I feel like the best thing to say about the story without saying too much is what he put here. He said, there's nobody who deals in joy and horror more than the big man, Santa, who's always watching, always judging, and punishes or rewards us like a terrible God. And that is where the story took us, following these parents who Christmas present are waking up and grumpy. They have not decorated for the holiday. They don't care. You're getting this like Scrooge vibe from them, and the guy, he takes his dog outside and sees a little boy who is in the cold asleep, like in the snow. And he's like, oh my God, could it be? And it's Isaac, their son, who has been missing since last Christmas. And you can kind of see where the horror is going to unravel with that. I guess like story-wise, it was just okay. Like I like the concept of it. I think that was cool. But I feel like it wasn't unique enough. I feel like it was kind of predictable, reading it, even though it is like really short. I kind of wish there was a little bit more of a twist there, or something that was a lot more like, whoa, no way, or a little bit more of a shock factor there than what we got with it. But it was still not bad. Yesterday, I got together with the girls and we did like some stuff for Yule and like the winter solstice, and we decorated like Yule wreaths and did some different crafts. We're working on like our book ornaments. It was girls' night. We also did our first beer ping pong to figure out our next book club pick for January. And it looks like we're going to be starting a long ass fantasy series that I'm probably sure to DNF. But we also are going to be starting the Christmas Murder Game by Alexandra Benedict. I've never read anything from Alexandra, but I did buy 3 copies of this for this year for my friends as a gift. I kind of wanted to do the whole like 12 Days of Christmas because this is kind of taking on the 12 Days of Christmas song, but it says 12 clues, 12 keys, 12 days of Christmas. So I did kind of want to do like 12 days, but we have been so busy that the 3 of us could not get our schedules straight to be able to do this. And then when it somewhat worked out, I didn't get my books in time and I needed more time to be able to wrap them because I did get a quick video of them, but I did wrap their books in chunks. I don't have the energy to do my own after doing 2 others, but it was really cool. It's going to probably be a pain in the ass for them to read with parts of it wrapped, but it is what it is. I hope that they enjoy. I am going to be reading the same amount of chapters each day that they will be reading so that we can talk spoilers and try to figure out the, I guess, murder game as we go together. So I'm excited for that. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And today we get to read the first 5 chapters. I like that there's also kind of like a clue set up with the house. And then we also have like a family tree moment going on. Although I am kind of predicting it's not going to be the best story ever. It's probably going to be predictable at times, and who knows about the writing style. Really not trying to judge this book before going into it, but it's just kind of what I gather. But I think it's just going to be a cute little fun Christmas mystery for us to try to solve together, and I like the little touches that the author has put with it, and I will keep you guys caught up in a non-spoilery way since this is another Christmas read.
Zodiac Academy.
So I left you guys for a few hours. I finished a book earlier. I read part of another book, so I feel really accomplished, but they're not really anything for this video. But what I did finish for this video is His Castle by Alma Casu. This one was a twisted Christmas story about this couple who are warned that they might get some carolers at their Airbnb, and you know, they're like, oh, are they just like normal, you know, carolers that are just gonna come and like, you know, sing? And they're like, yeah, kind of. And they're like, just, you know, give them something to drink or eat or a snack or something and send them on their way. And it ends up being something completely different. And it's almost reads kind of like a thriller. There's like a little bit of that suspense there with where the story is gonna go, and then it just becomes even more unhinged. And I rather enjoyed it. It's not really what I was expecting in this type of book, but I think the idea of it with the traditions of people going around and caroling is such a funny but also like horrifying concept that I think I'm landing at another 4-star. First time reading anything from this author. I don't know if I butchered the name, but I really enjoyed it, and I'm still loving the like afterword from each author.
Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town.
Currently wrapping presents and sipping on some wine. I'm trying to sip because I am quickly getting hotter and hotter, and already had to put the hair up, and then I was like, oh, this is like perfect opportunity to sit down and film because everyone's in bed and I'm having a little bit of peace and quiet going on in my house, which is very rare as of recently. Well, let's get straight to this clip because I don't want to be rambly or long here because I just know all these clips are going to add up, and then editing Allie trying to get this up by the end of the year or possibly early beginning of the new year. It's going to be a lot. So first of all, I am so glad I have not had time to work on a tree topper because I found a tree topper today. And I say I found, but actually James found it. We did our last minute Christmas shopping, and you guys are going to be shocked to hear that it is December 23rd. And yes, I'm only just now checking back in with you guys. I'm going to be letting you guys know how far I've come with my Christmas books, but I will for sure be reading Christmas books after Christmas because that's just how it is. Look, December has taken me by storm at this point. Since the boys have been home, the last week that they were in school, I got sick. And I feel like it was mainly just this huge fatigue. Like, I did not want to leave my bed. I had a really hard time functioning every day, which made it 10 times harder for me to like focus and like read books. And even like the couple of books that I worked on during that time, my memory is already so foggy, and I'm like, why? End of the year goals, videos, everything going on. I'm juggling my best of horror Goodreads video with this, so it's been a lot. And now we're on Christmas break, so I have kiddos running around nonstop. And you know, James is home full time, so like I'm trying to like spend this holiday time with them, do holiday things. So yeah, I have some books to talk about today, and I am still going to be throwing up my B-roll because I do have some holiday B-roll throughout the month of our Elf on the Shelf and other activities that we got up to. We honestly didn't really do a whole lot of, I feel like, super festive activities. I don't think we're really feeling it this year, but we've still tried to make the most of it, and honestly hasn't been as bad of a holiday season that I thought it was going to be with how the end of this year is like wrapping up. Back to my first tangent TED Talk. Yeah, it's December 23rd. We did our last minute Christmas shopping like we always do because we procrastinate everything today. So my grandparents watched the boys while we went out of town, and at Target, James found the perfect disco ball tree topper. And when I tell you guys, it is perfect. Like, it's kind of silly, but at the same time, like, it grew on me so fast. As soon as like, it has like a clip on it, so you just clip it to your top branch. And I was like, do you like it? And he was like, I actually strangely do. And I was like, I don't know if that's like a compliment or not. And then I stepped back and I kept looking at it and I was like, oh my God, I think I actually really like it. I think we might actually have our tree put together then. We have the topper now, the glass ornaments I like, the disco ball ornaments, and the faux leather tree skirt. So I think I'm happy with it. Maybe next year I will finally do my like sandworm, or, you know, the black and orange worm snake creature from The Nightmare Before Christmas. I want to do one of those. I'm kind of thinking the sandworm is just so that I can stick to like black and white, but I don't know. But I want one to like wrap around like the bottom of the tree. Yeah. Tonight though, we're back home and I am sipping wine, wrapping the last of the presents. I think we did pretty good this year. Shopping for the boys. We had to get a couple family things, but besides that, I think we're good. I mean, I hope we are. Tomorrow is Christmas Eve. There is books to talk about, but there's also subscription boxes that like I have just completely forgotten to talk about. So first up, book of the month. They sucked me back in, you guys. But I picked up The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year. This is by Ali Carter. I have heard of this author, but I've never read anything by her. And I don't know, I loved the cover. I thought it was so cute. And I was like, when I was ordering it earlier in December, I was like, I want to be a little bit more festive and I want more festive books to read because I'm going to have so much time. And let's just say, I went ahead and bought the audiobook. So hopefully I can fit this in either Christmas or Christmas Eve. I'm hoping I can like make it like with the audiobook a day read. We'll see. But so cute. Little book of the month bookmark. And then they sent out these holiday stickers. Is this something new that they're doing? Or are they just doing it for the holidays? It's been a minute since I've been subscribed to Book of the Month, so I wasn't sure. But they had a really good like holiday deal going on for like rejoining. So I went with it and grabbed that book. And then I have not showed you guys my last two aardvark books. So last month I went with American Rapture by CJ Lead. I still haven't got to this one. I actually had it checked out from my library as well, but now that I own it, I'll be able to get to it when I want. But you guys, how cool is that? This one is signed. It's actually signed. I guess maybe they do that occasionally with their books on Aardvark, but we did just get, I think, these blue and yellow bookmarks. I hate how flimsy the ears are, although their 2-year anniversary like thick plastic one is so nice and I absolutely love it. I use it all the time. But yeah, this is my pick, American Rapture. Same author as Mayfly, so I'm sure it's going to be super like religious horror and super unhinged, and I'm excited for it. But I did an add-on. They still had copies of Chuck Tingle's Bury Your Gaze. I loved this book this year, and this is also a part of the Best of Horror for Goodreads, so now I have a copy of it as well. But I loved that one. Yeah. Bookmarks, cards, trying to fly through this, you guys. But this month, I actually didn't get an add-on. And I'm kind of kicking myself. I want to say there was another book. Alter Ego kind of looked cool, but also The Resurrectionist. That looked really cool. But it's the bookmark. Super cute. I went with Private Rights by Julia Armfield. Never read anything by Julia, but I've seen this cover throughout this year, like when it was like first announced that it was coming out, or when it was going to be published, and I seen the cover and I was like, oh my god, that's stunning. I absolutely love it. Don't know what it's about, but I want to read it. I've seen some reviews here and there, but nothing like oh my god, you have to read this, or oh my god, that was horrible. They've just kind of been like that in between, but this is what I went with. While I hope to get to my book of the month for this video, these other ones you're just going to see in future videos because I do not have time right now. And with that aside, like I said, I'm wrapping presents, but I want to talk to you guys about where I've left you off. Let's start with the Christmas and other horrors. So since I left you guys, I read The Mockinfield by Terry Dowling. Oh my god, you guys, this one was a 2-star for me, but hear me out. This one, I strictly did audio. I remember I was doing like the dishes and like I folded a load of laundry and it went by rather fast, but the whole horror concept of this one was surrounding a scarecrow, which is creepy, yes, but I found myself just super confused throughout. I had to keep rewinding and then I was like, wait, what? What does that mean? What does this mean? Wait, what? I was so confused. And even till the ending, I was still just like, I don't know. Maybe it's just not a story for me. Not something that like I'm gathering very well, all the info. Once again, you have like the afterword, which is nice because it's like they'll explain to you a little bit like where they're getting their story from. But it's literally like I've had a long fascination with scarecrows, but approached the Mockinfield knowing that any story featuring one had to keep well clear of the cliches, focusing rather on moments of recognition and deep knowing we all experience in our lives. Aware that it would involve the solstice around Christmas and the southern rather than the northern hemisphere. Also mentions like they're aware that it would involve like the solstice around Christmas and stuff, but like I didn't really get that vibe besides the fact that I think it was like snowy. But now that I'm thinking about it, I don't even know if it was snowy. Did I just make that up? I don't know, you guys. I just felt like this was a story that I was like, why is it in this? I don't understand. I felt like if it was in another anthology, I think I might have appreciated it a little bit more. Might have been more of a 3-star for me. But I still just found it a little boring, very confusing, and was just like, it just felt so out of place that it just took me out completely. And I wish I could have appreciated more because there was some cool concepts to it, like a fridge in the middle of the yard that just like works. And just very odd characters, different. The next one was The Blessing of the Waters. And this one was by Nick Mamantis. The afterword says, I am from a small Greek and Greek-American enclave on Long Island, where the local congregation practices the blessing of the waters to celebrate, not really sure how you pronounce that, and the end of Christmas season. And that is what I love. If you're not going to like write like a Christmas or another holiday, for holiday you like want to focus on, like then do something winter vibes, do something like winter solstice or like Yule or just something to be in a book like this. And that is exactly what Nick did. I enjoyed so much of that aspect of kind of being rolled back in after the last story and having that like winter vibe going on. But at the same time, some of it just fell a little flat for me. Like I felt like his didn't need to be as long as it was, and it really isn't that long. It's about that thick, so it's like it's not that long at all. We jump from page 83 to page 96. Like it's not a long story, but I just felt like there was parts in it that just didn't necessarily have to be there. But I really liked that we had culture brought into it, but also their own tradition brought into it. Kind of like a tradition that they do that involves a cross and like out in the winter and like the cold, and then they would be like warmed up with like a sip of brandy or something like that. But then taking it and transforming it into a story, I like that. I like that there is a winter solstice type of culture tradition that kind of goes along with the story, but at the same time then it just veered off in a different direction because this takes it a little bit darker, with it being a guy who has escaped prison and he is now going to his brother-in-law, who is also the father, I guess, priest at the church, and it's almost like he's like it's like he's confronting him about this thing that they would do when they were young, and how the, you know, father would have all of them do it or whatever. Kind of unspirals from there. I feel like I'm already giving too much away, but I don't know. I don't really like the direction it went. I think that some type of folk horror could have been really cool with the concept that this author had, and then he just went kind of in a different direction with it, more almost like thrillery with like trauma. And that is where I've left off. I feel like since these have been not as so much like Christmassy as just winter solstice, I'm good to pause on this one, even until after Christmas, and then maybe circle back to it to try to finish it out before the end of the year and for the end of this video. Aww, PJ Day for Polar Express Day.
One at a time. Get the people up. Don't pull them.
I got it.
You're not the one wearing shorts.
I know, you're wearing shorts for basketball. Think you're gonna win tonight?
I'm pretty scared because my team last night lost 16-45.
Yeah, but you guys have won every other game.
That's true. And we've had like 9 games, 10.
Yeah, a lot of games.
Not that bad of a start though.
With that being said, I have been reading The Christmas Murder Game, and it's been so long since I've checked in, I don't remember what I last told you guys about this. But I wish I was enjoying this book more than what I am. It is rather slow. The narration isn't horrible, but it's not like my favorite. I feel like it's so easy to tune out. But I've been so busy that like I've been trying to focus on like the narration, or like, you know, listening to the audiobook versus reading it. But I definitely think I enjoy reading this one more physically than I do with the audiobook. But yeah, I have my little list of chapters that I have to get to each day, and I actually just read for Christmas Eve because it is past midnight already. So I was like, I'm just gonna get it done. I had to make up yesterday's and then today's because of how busy we've been. So I'm hoping Christmas I will be able to finish the last like little portion and give you guys my thoughts on it, because that's when we're supposed to finish. And I don't want to like rush it, although I'm so close to finishing it that I'm like, I just want to finish. It's very slow. I keep finding myself, I don't even know if I've given a synopsis, but there's an annual Christmas game that happens at Endgame House. That's what the house is called. It's this family. There's actually a family tree, which I love. I love when there's a map and a family tree going on. So I like all of these aspects to it, but it's slow burn writing. The writing, in my opinion, isn't like amazing. I'm not enjoying like any of the characters. You of course have like this snooty cousin who has the weird brother, and then you have our main character who is just, she's supposed to be like this amazing, smart, super intelligent, like just witty main character energy, and I'm just not feeling it. And then of course you have like your other cousins that are in the mix. You have a cousin who has brought her wife, and they talk about like their kid back at home, and then you have another cousin who brought his wife as well. And so there's a big family dynamic going on, but the family tree above them, so like their parents, are all dead at this point. The last one just recently died. So not only are they doing like these last cousin line of family, not only are they playing the annual Christmas game with hints and clues from their now dead aunt or mom, I guess to some, but whoever wins gets the deed to the house. With that being said, there's so many loopholes in this will for the family that like, this could be a slight spoiler. You might want to skip ahead. I honestly don't think it's that big of a spoiler because I feel like we learn about it very quick into the book. But one of the biggest things in this will is that the next person who should get the house is the main character. I can't even think of her name. She honestly is a very forgettable main character. Lily. So Lily is supposed to inherit the house, but the most stupidest thing, for her to be able to inherit the house, she has to be pregnant. And so it's like she doesn't get it, and now they all have to compete in this game, although, plot twist, she is currently pregnant. But you find it out like right in the beginning, but she's like hiding it from everybody else because she has this like underlining thing that she's trying to unravel and figure out, and that's why she wants to play along. But it's like, it almost like doesn't make sense. Like it doesn't register with me, and I just want to be like, I feel like this is one of those books where it's like she shows up, says I'm pregnant, gets the will, gets the deed to the house, gets all of it, the end. Like I feel like this shouldn't even be continuing. It's just not a very strong plot. It's honestly driving me a little insane, and I just want to finish it. And a lot of my notes have just continued to be, this is so slow and boring. Like I want a murder game. I want more murder going on. I want this to feel more like Clue and like an actual murder mystery. So I probably won't have much more to say once I finish this. I feel like I know what's going on. I know the who done it type of situation. I think I have the culprit in mind. And maybe I'll just let you guys know if I was right or not. But I feel like it's very obvious. With that being said, last one, I promise, for the night. I might have to throw some B-roll in between these just to make this a little bit more interesting. I've started Nosferatu. Is that how you say this? This is by Joe Hill. I've only read, I think, short stories by Joe Hill. So I'm taking on quite the read with this, especially end of the year and a holiday read. I'm not very far into this. I literally just started it tonight, but I'm hoping to finish this Christmas, the day after, you know, somewhere around, like I'm trying to like fit this in. The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year, the rest of the stories in this anthology, the rest of the Christmas murder game. I also have Krampus on my radar. That's gonna have to be an after Christmas ordeal, but I still kind of want to fit it in my end of the year from Brom. And then I also have Brian McAuley's Candy Cane Kills Again, the sequel to his horror Christmas novella last year, which I loved. So those Krampus and Candy Cane Kills Again, those plus these for my holiday reads, I'm like, I'm setting myself up for failure. But we'll see if I can pull this off. This one is about, says Victoria McQueen has an uncanny knack for finding things. A misplaced bracelet, a missing photograph, answers to unanswerable questions. When she rides her bicycle over the rickety old covered bridge in the woods near her house, she always emerges in the places she needs to be. Vic doesn't tell anyone about her unusual ability because she knows no one will believe her. She has trouble understanding it herself. Charles Talent Mannix has a gift of his own. He likes to take children for rides in his 1938 Rolls-Royce Wraith with the vanity plate Nosferatu. In the Wraith, he and his innocent guest can slip out of the everyday world and onto hidden roads that lead to an astonishing playground of amusements he calls Christmasland. Mile by mile, the journey across the highway of Charlie's twisted imagination transforms his precious passengers, leaving them terrifying, unstoppable as their benefactor. And then comes the day when Vic goes looking for trouble and finds her way inevitably to Charlie. That was a lifetime ago. Now the only kid ever to escape Charlie's unmitigated evil is all grown up and desperate to forget. But Charlie Max hasn't stopped thinking about the exceptional Victoria McQueen. On the road again, he won't slow down until he's taken his revenge. He's after something very special, something Vic can never replace. It continues on, but I feel like we have a really good idea of what to expect with this. I feel like it's gonna be like rather dark for Christmas. I love these like illustrations on they're really cool in this like 600 plus page book. But I do have the audiobook, so I'm hoping between just like festive things or when I'm cooking and doing things like that, I will be able to get to it. That is my check-in. I'm going to finish wrapping presents so that I can call it a night and head to bed because it's Christmas Eve. And it is Christmas Eve, but I did want to say Merry Christmas Eve Eve. It felt appropriate with my friend's video finally going up. If you haven't checked it out yet, please do. I worked so freaking hard on that video and I have literally thrown sleep out the window lately trying to get it edited and like everything together for it. So I hope you guys enjoy, friends, and enjoy that video. I will see you guys tomorrow.
3, 2, 1. Yeah, we're ready for the action.
1, 2.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go.
So far, he has delivered 5,964,195,256 gifts.
Oh my god!
He is so fast.
Okay.
That's hard.
Ooh, a tree.
Oh, tree. Oh, this might be easy. Draw one straight
I see
down.
I see nail, or string beam, or street light. I see toothbrush, or feather, or palm tree, or bracelet.
Just trying to
I see
start
hand,
off.
or leaf. I see beach, or flower. Oh, I know. This is tree.
Tree!
Woo!
Penguin! I don't know how to draw a penguin. Which one's fancy?
I'm not sure what that is. I see bear. I'm not sure what that is. I see nutcracker.
Hey, I got that one.
I see circle, or moon, or apple, or ornament, or pear, or cherry. I see.
I feel like an absolute train wreck right now. I binge read Cain Kills Again by Brian McAuley today, and all the Christmas stuff is like done. I'm on top of that tonight. Like I literally can just go to bed. Everything is done. All the Christmas Eve stuff is done, and I'm ready to snuggle in. But I thought I would give you guys something since I am ahead of the game tonight, and I don't have a physical copy of Cain Kills Again, but this is a sequel novella to Cain Kills. Brian McAuley came out with it last year, and it is a very short, unhinged story about this girl who went through a lot of traumatic things. It definitely is a traumatic, rage, vengeful type of book. We learn about her past and then why she is the monster she is today, and she is getting her revenge. And the follow-up sequel that I just read, I did not give it 5 stars like the original. I did give this one 4 stars, but we got a little bit of character development with this one, and the killings were just as unhinged. I love that. It was also kind of like religious horror this time, which I also love. This one took place in the same town, so it pretty much like is directly after the first one. So if you haven't read it in a while, I kind of wish I would have had the time to reread that one and then jump into this one. But I just love the way it segued into it, of like this continuation. And he said that he did it because it got so much love, and I'm so glad he did. I loved where it went. I felt like it tied in the bits and everything that we needed, although it is kind of silly and just satire in the end. I definitely feel like this one felt more of like love for the fans. So like, here you go, instead of like taking it as seriously as he did with the first one, although they're both like crazy, silly, unhinged. It's a really good Christmas slasher, if not the best that I have personally read. And with that being said, the last thing I have for you guys today is I'm tallying up, finally, my Creepmas or Holiday Hell-A-Thon tally. And you guys, I made a mistake. For one, I've waited till Christmas Eve to finally start tallying these up, but I haven't wrote down all the movies we've watched this month, and we've actually watched, I feel like, quite a few. And I can't remember for the life of me. I can't. I'm trying to go through my phone to see like if I took pictures of any. I'm also like trying to go through our apps and just see like recently watched. But I think it feels like a lot more because like we just binge watched through Squid Games again because of the new season coming out. So it feels like we've watched a lot of TV lately, but I really just think it has to do with that and other things that we've been watching. There's a new show, No Good Deed, on Netflix we just binge watched too, but I watched the new Lindsay Lohan movie and a couple other Christmas movies. We watch 4 Christmases every year. I don't know why, but that is the movie we go back to, and for some reason almost every single year it's like we're watching it for the first time again and just cracking up laughing. I feel like that's like a guilty pleasure that maybe I shouldn't share, but it's just kind of funny. So as of now, I don't have the movies tallied up. Give me some time. I will get back to you by the end on the Santa side or the Krampus side or in the middle with the elf. But I have tallied up all of my books until now so that I could at least give you guys something there. And Kelsey really went there with the prompts. I feel like this took me forever, and honestly, I think it's just because I waited so long to do this, and I probably should have been tallying it up every time I read a book. But there's like 35 prompts per character, and to go through all of them to see how many you have of, or how many more you have of like which one, so you have to go through all of them. That's 70 prompts right there. It's a lot, but I powered through with these. So I did go ahead and do Misery, the book and the movie, because I thought, why not? I did watch Misery at the beginning of this month after reading it. And the movie was a rewatch, but the book, like I told you guys earlier in this, was a first time watch. So I went through all the prompts on both of those, and Kelsey definitely made it to where even if you're like me and you're pretty much reading strictly horror, watching strictly horror, you could potentially still fall in Santa or the Elf, because it's just kind of like a toss-up with some of them. Like, your book starts with letter A through M, you know, or your pages, your book has like odd number, ends in odd numbers, or ends in an even number, like different things like that, that can really, those extra points can really tally up and send you into Santa or Krampus. And I was kind of sweating it for a minute, because I was just like, I really thought I was going to be in Krampus. But Misery, the book, got 12 points with Santa and landed there. Misery, the movie, got 10 points each, Santa and Krampus, so fell with the Elf. The Institute, some of these are not books that I've mentioned in this video, but I am tallying all of my books up and all my movies from this month. So The Institute by Stephen King got 10 points for Santa. Book of Witching also got Santa with 12 points. Then Indian Burial Ground got 10 each and landed an Elf. Diavola landed at 10 points with Krampus, my first Krampus book. This Cursed House got 12 points with Krampus. Chocolate with 7 for each, so landed with the Elf. Blood Like Mine ended up with Krampus at 11. And Candy Cane Kills Again ended up with, this is crazy, ended up with 13 for Santa, but 14 for Krampus. So I'm 3 for Santa, 3 for the Elf, but 4 for Krampus. So as of right now, I am with Krampus, and I am going to update you guys once more which team I landed on. But yeah, I've had so much fun with this so far. I just wish I had more time during this busy time of the year to really be able to go through the prompts a lot easier. I feel like that's going to be a little overwhelming for me right now, so I'm probably going to have to tally up the rest like after we get through these holidays.